Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on what time you are tuning in. My name is Rachel Goldsworthy, and I'm on a journey to improve my life by 2 millimeters each and every week, and I want to do that with you. How are you? What's everybody up to? What have you been doing lately? I've had a big weekend actually. Lots of things going on with work, and lots of things going on with the puppy dogs and little Pidgey, bit of an update on Pidgey. I don't know whether I can get him out or not because he's gone to sleep tonight, but I'll see if I can without waking him too much. Remember Pidgey, the bird that was on the veranda of my house, and hey Sue, how are you? Nice to have you on the line. Anybody looking for an accountant in Windsor and the Hawkesbury area, she's certainly somebody that you need to reach out to at Joseph Banks and Co. So on the weekend, I was looking after my bird. I bring him in of a night time. I didn't know what sort of bird he was. He was drenched after all of that rain and everything else that we had. I don't know whether he's asleep here. He's asleep at the moment, but I'll see if I can bring him out, and then you can have a little bit of a look with me. Here we go. There we go. Say hi, Pidge. How are you? He's a little bit calmer than what he was when we saw him last time, but I know we're waking you up and you want to go back to bed. But he's alive and well, and he's having a great time and enjoying life. That's him just whistling a little bit in the background. But he came drenched to my door a couple of weeks ago, and he's lasted 2 weeks on. And little Topsy, she's all excited down there wanting to say hello and see what's going on with him. So what has everybody else been up to this week? What have you been doing? I've been doing all sorts of things with work, just updating systems and processes and procedures, and not only with myself but with the office. But I also went to see a local artist on the weekend, Mia Ray, songwriter, and oh, Topsy wants to say hello. Yeah. Come here. You want to say hello? Yeah. No. She was going to say hello, but she might say hello in a minute. Yeah, Mia Ray, her songwriting, it's deeply personal and powerful, and she's often drawing from her own experiences in life to overcome some adversity that she's faced and so forth. And I'm not too sure about you, but I really enjoy going and seeing local artists and supporting local artists. Our brand is Live, Love, Local, so I love going to local businesses as well and seeing what they're up to. Big shout out to all of those businesses, Hawkesbury businesses that were nominated for the Business Awards. And we thank each and every one of you. You're doing a great job. And I really appreciate our nomination as finalists this year. 4 years in a row, I think it has been. So we do appreciate that, and each of the other businesses as well. But Mia Ray, she's written quite a number of different songs, and her music sort of described as a bit of a like pop and soul and those sorts of things, and a bit of an indie. You'd almost say you were listening to Billie Eilish if you were listening to her. And it was in a chapel, and it was just really lovely. I went with a friend I haven't caught up with for, I want to say, 20, 30 years. And yeah, it was really, really nice just to spend the time and hear the music that she had. And she spoke about, I don't know, whether you've faced significant challenges in your life, but she spoke about, different struggles that she's faced, and I think we've all faced struggles at different times in our lives, and she was talking in particular about two things. One, or there was lots of little stories along the way as she sang, and it's an amazing artist, but she stood up in front of everybody in the church. She was in tracksuits and a sloppy Joe, which I loved her sloppy Joe. I loved it so much that I bought one to support the local artist. Can you see that? Yeah. So it sort of says, I just need you to know. Have you ever written a note to somebody? I certainly have. And I think it's really nice that you write notes to people over the years, and just to know that they matter, and then how much you mean to me. She's written on the back there, and nothing compares. And then the other one is to the love you have for me, Mia Ray. And she was so giving of her time for the fans that were there listening to her. And I love that shirt. But I just love the way she presented herself authentically, and the music. She played the guitar, she played the piano, and she talked about personal experiences and drew from that. And two in particular that hit home for me in the sense of school. And there was a kid at school that she used to spend some time with. And a lot of people didn't speak to this particular girl, and there's a song written about her. And that's what she does. She writes about her experiences, and it seems to resonate really well with the listeners and the people that are there. And this particular girl, she would talk to her and allow her to be seen and heard. And I think, you know, whether you're a parent and you've got kids that are at school and you want to make sure that the kids fit into that school locally and that they find friends that they get to speak to and that they get into the right classes at school and that they have the right environment that they can learn as young adults, as kids, you know, and growing. And hey Jem, how are you? Nice to have you on the line. Hi Mum, how are you? I love the support from Mum and Dad as I was growing up as a kid and in school and in high school and things like that. And as a kid you throw yourself into, whether it's school sports or whether it's you know, I used to love agriculture and school sports in particular, and also reading. I did a lot of reading on the library steps. And yeah, I think this particular girl that she was talking about, Grace was her name, and my name is Grace, and she basically sang the song and said that nobody knew the struggles that this particular girl was going through as she went to school, because each child, when you go to school, I mean, you don't know whether they've got lunch or morning tea, or what they go home to, whether there's dinner on the table, and all things that we as kids take for granted sometimes. But sometimes there's other things going on for families and personal experiences that people have. And it was just really nice to hear the song that she wrote. And that girl Grace went up to me. I'm not too sure, I'm probably not telling the story the right way, but she went up to Mia at some stage and thanked her for allowing her to be seen and to be heard, because I think that's what all of us, you know, want to be surrounded by, a supportive tribe, by people that want to be with us, that love us, and we love them equally. And I think this song, My Name is Grace, was basically to say that this young lady was a person and she had her story, as we all have stories. And Mia took the time to learn Grace's story, and Grace was really appreciative of that. And I think that's really important on many levels, because with work, I know I might go to work and I've got a busy day ahead of me, but each and every person that I interact with, each and every person that I speak to, they all have a story. And whether it's a first home buyer looking to get their first home and they're not too sure how to put the offer forward, or whether the offer is going to be accepted, or where the next offer needs to go if the first offer isn't accepted, or whether they're somebody that's buying their second home and making sure that their family want to buy that home that's exactly what they're after. They want to get the kids into the right school. They want to get the, you know, right location for work. They want to make sure that they've got the road arterials close to where they're going. And getting the right house or the right friends in life is really important. And it doesn't matter whether you're renting or whether you're buying. But if you don't have the right people around you to be able to support you through that process, and like Mia did with Grace, she was there to support Grace through her school years, but as I'm sure Grace was there with Mia to have the conversations in the schoolyard or outside of the schoolyard or wherever it may have been. And I think the same thing for when you're buying a house. I've always had great parents and great supportive friends around me, and also reached out to people that had done things before that I wanted to achieve, because there's nothing better than collapsing years into days or hours with the knowledge that somebody else may be able to impart to you. I mean, you can sit there and try and work things out yourself, and I've done that too. I've sat down and consumed a book a day, and, you know, for years I'd read books. I'd go to seminars and those sorts of things, and that's great as well, because from a seminar you can find so many different aspects or draw on what it is that you need. But the other thing that I've found too is not only having the right people and the right counsel around you and the right advice, but if you have the information and the daily disciplines. And the quote for this week that we've pulled out is, "Success isn't just a destination. It's built through daily intention." So that daily intention for you may be saying hello to everybody that you see in the playground, or saying hello to everybody that you meet in the street in the Hawkesbury where our community is. It may be saying hello to people in the hospital as you're walking down the aisle of the hospital, not knowing anybody, but visiting friends and so forth that are there. It may be saying hello to somebody as you're buying a coffee, or the businesses that have the work that's commenced in George Street, and just popping in to say hello, because they're probably struggling at the moment with all of that construction work. But sometimes that discussion is the thing that keeps somebody going. Gemma's jumping off the live now. Thank you, Gem. Well, you have a great night, and we hope each and every one of you do too that have popped in to say hi. But building daily, or intention through daily intention, building blocks through daily intention, I think, whether it's that lady in the playground or whatever it might be for you, I'm not too sure, but struggles are real for people. And I think each day when I go to work, I hear the struggles in the voices of tenants, of landlords, of things that they've faced, and whether it's making sure that there's a balance of time with the kids and getting into the right school. Might be a single parent on a low income just trying to find the right house to purchase or to rent. Just struggling to put food on the table. I know that there's a lot of people that have support locally from the Salvos and St Vinny's. And Salvos, they have a great program where you can go down, and for $15 you can get a box of, whether it's milk, bread, anything like that. So, you know, there's a lot of things that you can get available. There's a lot of churches locally that have support. Link Wentworth has emergency housing. Strong Nation, the Jeremiah Project helps with the homeless. Hawkesbury Harvest. There's so many different entities around in the Hawkesbury that do a lot of good work, and it might be struggling to pay a bill, it might be struggling to pay the rent, it might be struggling to talk about a tough situation at work or at home. It might be struggling to there might be a little problem that you might be facing and you don't know where or how to go about it. But as Mia was saying, it's just a matter of having those conversations. And it might be just that one conversation that you have with that one person that makes a difference in their life and makes them want to keep turning up each and every day. Mia was also talking about another situation she had, and I think she was travelling overseas from what she said. We went to the local church. I think it was Mooney Mooney where she was playing, and then she was playing at Gosford, and she's heading up to the Central Coast. To Queensland after this. So, and she tells little stories through the way she plays the songs and the way she talks about her experiences with life and the people that she meets and what she comes across. And I heard in her voice, there was antidotes for struggle. There was antidotes for facing the adversity that she'd faced. But she had somebody, I don't know whether it was after a gig that she did, or I couldn't quite, I came in late to when she was explaining this one, but I believe that there was a gentleman that was following her after, whether it was a gig or late at night, and he was following her home, and she was walking down the street. I don't know whether she had her guitar or a bag of some sort, and she was pulling the bag behind her. And then she noticed that there was this guy behind her, and she thought, oh, that's really strange because it's dark, there's nobody around. I just want to get to my hotel and make it okay. And so she stopped because she thought, oh, maybe he's just going to walk by. But he didn't walk by, he stopped as well. And so then she stepped walking, and she thought, this guy's just starting to follow me again. So she kept walking fast to get to the location that she had to. And it was probably a very harrowing and scary experience for her, from what she was saying. And I don't know whether any of you, whether you've caught a train or whether you've been working late one night or whether you've been, I'm not too sure. You might have been walking home from school one time, or you might have been catching a bus, or just doing anything, and felt that somebody was watching you. You might be down the park exercising or in a gym class or anything. But she had this guy following her in the street, and she was rushing then because she started to panic and thinking, this guy is actually following me and I don't know whether I'm going to make it to the hotel that I need to be at. So she sort of bolts to the hotel and hoping she sort of gets to her room in time. And I think she got into reception area, but this guy got into the reception area as well, and she sort of thought, oh, gee, I've got to pick up the key or what have you. She might have picked up the key. As I said, I'm probably not telling the story the right way, but the sentiment's the same. I mean, she got the key or the card and the access code to the room, and she bolted to the room, made it to the room just in time. But essentially she wrote a song about it called Evidence, because in this place that she was staying, there were CCTV cameras. And these days there's 5G, 4G CCTV cameras everywhere. And people like him make mistakes, because regardless of whether you're a seasoned stalker or not, you'll make a mistake. And that is something that people get caught out. And he got caught out. He got caught on CCTV. They're very sophisticated these days, and he was charged. So it is possible, and it's very probable that people get charged as a result of stalking somebody that they shouldn't be stalking, because there's jailable offences. And even online and those sorts of things for people. I mean, it's crazy the stories that you hear these days, but not so crazy because it's happening each and every day in many people's lives. And it's nice to know that people like Mia were able to be supported through that process. And then she turned to songwriting and faced that adversity, and her creativity was the part of the healing process for her to be able to move through that. And she shared that's part of the reason why she, wears the tracksuit pants and the clothes that are a little bit baggier, because she didn't want to draw attention to herself. She wanted to just blend in versus standing out. And she said that she's coming out the other side, and she's a really brave girl, still very young, and still a lot of life to live. But what an experience for her, and what a way to share with people how to overcome that adversity, and know that there's you know, support available for people, and also that she can write songs about it and then share that. And then she wrote some other fantastic songs as well. She wrote My Name is Grace, and she also wrote Tell Her. And it's all about like that shirt that I was showing you before, whether it's notes that you write to people, or whether it's a shirt that you might give somebody, or, you know, have a conversation with somebody, or send somebody a text during the day. I know we all get busy during the day and that sort of thing, but it's nice just to connect, whether it's your mum or your dad or a friend that you haven't spoken to for a while, or, you know, it might be a work colleague, or just have a quick conversation or a cup of coffee with somebody you haven't spoken to for a while. I think conversations these days are really important, you know, to have, and to be in touch with people, because the art of conversation has been lost. But I believe that it's coming back, and I think that that's really nice to see those sorts of shirts that have the notes on there. Hey Maggie, how are you? Nice to have you on the line. Thank you for joining us tonight. We're talking about struggles and life and fitting in and overcoming adversity. And I think the antidote for struggles for me over the years, one of them has been work, because that has been my creative outlet. And I think that with work, that's great, but that's only one aspect of your life. So personal things that you may do, whether it's a hobby, you might want to go kayaking, or you might want to catch up with friends, or go and see a movie, or have dinner with family, or plan to do some cooking. I've been doing some cooking lately, actually. Do you want to see my latest invention? This is Mum's recipe. They're like coconut macaroons. I call them coconut macaroons, but maybe they're not. I can show you. I can pick them up because I'm the one that's going to eat them. But they're like got coconut, and they've got, where is it? So you mix coconut, desiccated coconut, with condensed milk. So it was pretty much one bag of desiccated coconut. Pour that in, then a can of condensed milk. Really simple. This is like great Rachel recipe, because it takes like 2 ingredients and then you're done. Maybe 3 ingredients actually, because this one on the top here, what you do is you mix those 2 ingredients, wrap it round, and then you can tell this is live because I'm getting messages as we speak. Yeah, and then you mix the ingredients up, and then on the top of it, 2 spoons, pour it out onto, like, you get a baking tray, a bit of baking brown paper or whatever that is, or grease the tin, whatever you want to do. Pop it down. The first ones I made as balls, and then pressed my thumb into it to get the hole to put the raspberry jam in. The second time I did what Mum does, and she gets 2 spoons and just sort of whacks it together and then puts it on the plate, and it all just sort of comes out perfectly. And you get like little shapes like this, you know, like little mountains, half mountains, with crispy bits on the outside and chewy bits on the inside. Has anyone else made some macaroons, or has anybody else got a little recipe, like a 3-ingredient recipe that you can share below, that we could make something? I thought I might even make something on one of these lives with you, because I love cooking. I always have loved cooking. I've never had time to cook, so I'm not the greatest cook, but I give it my best shot. And that's all that matters. So whether you've got somebody in the playground that can help you navigate the playground and the kids, the right kids to play with, or the right location for the classroom, or whether you're looking for a real estate agent that's going to head you in the right direction to how to, you know, put an offer in and get it accepted on your first house, or whether it's cooking with the locals and trying to work out how to work out Mum's recipe with the macarons that she made. Or overcoming any adversity, any struggles that you may be having. I think it's fun to share. I mean, sometimes it's really hard to share what you're going through. But I also think that it's very rewarding to be around family and friends and share that together. So Gemma is sending me a message. She knows I'm on a live. I don't know why she's... I hope she's okay. She's been consistent. She's just saying she's sorry she couldn't be on the live, but that's okay. She virtually is, featuring her again in the live as we speak. But yeah, so whether it's cooking or whether it's writing songs or whether it's finding some sort of antidote for that struggle, and sometimes too, simple things like just having a routine, a daily intentional routine, so a morning routine and a night routine. I've found that that's always served me really well. Like, I've taken to cold plunges, but instead of a cold plunge, because I've got a cold plunge set up, but setting it all up and putting the ice in, don't necessarily want to do that every morning, and especially with winter being here. So what I find is if I get up within 5 minutes of getting up, Gary Brecker talks a lot about this. He's coming to Australia. He talks about biohacking, and just having that daily intentional wake up, so whatever that may be. So his daily routine of waking up is getting up, washing your face with cold water, which gives you, so almost takes your breath away as the first day of winter that we've had. Then he has a cold plunge, which I've substituted with a cold shower because it's just the same, but it really wakes your body up and really just sort of gets everything firing. And also, I don't know about you, but when you jump into cold water, it really takes your breath away. So oxygenating your body and really sucking in that air. So you've got no choice other than, you're going, it's really cold, but you're breathing in those big, deep breaths of oxygen. And that's what you need first thing in the morning, because one thing that keeps cancer away is an oxygenated body and an alkalized body. So that was one thing. Another thing is waking up at the same time, going to bed at the same time, because if your body is used to certain things, it stays in that routine, and your body likes a routine. And yeah, sure, I'm all for, if it's not a school night and you want to go out and have some fun or meet up with some friends, and you might be home a little bit late and you might not be able to do your night routine or your morning routine, or you might sleep in or whatever. That's fine. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying I like to trial different things. And Gary Brecker talks about that morning routine, and there's other things that he does. He has supplements and so forth, and meditation, and he also does gratitude journals of the sort. So, and I'm a big one of, that, not necessarily the gratitude journals, but I certainly do like a gratitude meditation. And I can pop one online here, which is Tony Robbins has a priming video, and it's all about spending 15 minutes in the morning and just centering yourself. So I'll wake up, wash my face, have that cold shower. I'll do 45 minutes on the bike, and after doing the 45 minutes on the bike, I will have some supplements and those sorts of things, and breakfast and that, and not necessarily in that order with the motivational sort of priming video, but certainly I'll do the exercise first generally, and then I'll do the meditation. The meditation, as I say, I don't always do that meditation, but when I want to get grounded or centered again around where I'm at, what I'm doing, where I'm going, I'll do this meditation, and it just allows you to breathe. So you've got that awareness of the breath coming and going. And then you think about things that you're grateful for. And it sounds really hooky dooky, whatever. And you just think, oh gosh, Rachel, you and your incantations and your, notes written up on walls, and in your wallet you've got incantations and things. But really the brain is such a powerful tool, because in any situation you can find good and bad. And whatever you focus on will grow. So if you focus on the negative things that are going on in your life, and we've all done it, so you're not alone, more of that will come, or more of that you will see. Whereas if you focus on, it might only be one positive that you can see in the whole day. It might just be waking up. It might be spending some time with the puppy dogs in the morning. It might be catching up with a friend, looking forward to spending a birthday with somebody. It might be having a salad sandwich with your mum and your dad. when you didn't really have a salad sandwich, we got a meat pie instead. It's the simple things in life that sometimes that you're grateful for, but you have that moment in the morning where you focus on what the thing is that you're grateful for, so those little moments, and then sending out love and thoughts of love to those people that you want in your life and that you have had in your life and that you have continue to have in your life. And because each of those people that come into your life and are continuing to be in your life and will leave your life, there's so much good in that. There is so much good in that. And I think it makes me think about, like in the morning time, sometimes I just go, I'm really happy to have breakfast with the puppy dogs and feed the magpies and little bird that survived, you know, little things like that, and it makes you happy. And they talk about the vibration of our body, and that's why you take your shoes off when you're outside and playing as a kid, and it feels great because you're grounded. The reason they say when you're gardening you put your hands in the soil, you're tilling the soil, it's you're very grounded. You're feeling the ground in your hands, on your toes, you know, like under your feet. And even if you hug a tree, you can feel the energy just coming straight from that tree. I mean, it's something that you laugh about it, but go and try hug a tree. If you haven't hugged a tree lately, go and try and hug a tree, or just put your hand on the tree and see what energy you feel from that. Go and stand out in the sun for 5 minutes, or sit in the sun and read a book for 5 minutes. If you haven't got 5 minutes, maybe 30 seconds, just take 3 deep breaths between your appointments. Hop out of your car, 30 seconds, 10 seconds for each breath. Just think of all the good things that are happening in your life and focusing on that. Exercise has been a good one for me. I mean, I'm a fitness instructor from way back. I got my ticket back in the 90s, and pump instructor, volunteer, asthma, swimming instructor, and, you know, aerobic instructor. And exercise and that discipline of, even if it's only a couple of times a week, you feel really good about what you're doing, and eating the right things, and eating to live, not living to eat, and just being intentional around that, and then being intentional around that gratitude. So those things that you're thinking about, the good things that are happening in your life. And I know that there's a lot of things that have happened to, you know, you may have lost a loved one, or you may be going through a really tough situation that you think nobody would understand. And we've all been there. So I get it. But equally, maybe just reach out to somebody, whether it's a work colleague that you want to have a conversation with, or whether it's a family member that you want to have a conversation with, or whether it's a friend that you haven't spoken to for a while, or a puppy dog that wants a cuddle. You can hear my puppy dogs in the background. They're chasing a possum that is up in the tree. So I'm grateful for the little possum that's alive. Not too sure I'm happy about him being housing in my roof, because there might be a bit of a mess that I need to clean up as a result. But I'm grateful that he's there. I'm grateful for the little bird, because he entertains me in the morning when we have breakfast together, the puppy dogs and myself. And, you know, even just looking at the sunset, like the sunsets are amazing at the moment, and we're coming to that strawberry moon, full moon soon, and that will be beautiful in itself. So just the energy around nature, and just being in nature, people that you spend time with, and they're the sort of things that, whether it's gratitude, or whether it's meditation, or whether it's breath work, whether it's a routine, a nighttime routine or a morning routine. Your nighttime routine might be as simple as going to bed at the same time each day, because your body gets into that routine, and then you look forward to that routine. I know it's not always possible. Sometimes kids don't go to bed at a certain hour, or something might happen, or there's a TV show that you want to watch, or there's a book that you want to read, or there's some work that you've got to finish before you go to bed. But if you're intentional around the basis of what you're doing in life, and I've found that it served me well over the years, and I don't always get it right. Like, don't get me wrong, sometimes I don't wake up and exercise at all, and sometimes it might be a couple of days that I don't exercise, might be a whole week that I don't exercise. But I know when I do exercise, I feel good about myself and what I've done. I've never looked forward to a workout, but I've never been disappointed with myself after I've done the workout. I've always thought, yeah, that wasn't a waste of time. I feel really good as a result of doing the workout. So whether it's the workout or whether it's the, walk in the park with friends, or whether it's kayaking or drinking water, eating different things, baking cakes or biscuits or, savoury things, trying new hobbies. We're talking about that in work today, about trying different hobbies within the work. There's a local artist that does wheel and wine or something, I think it is. It's sort of, that movie Ghosts, when you've got the pottery. They're talking about having a work, all of the group of girls in the office and dad, this is the guy, the solo guy, to go and make some pottery. And it's a couple of hours after work. So it sounds like a bit of a fun idea. Another idea was axe wielding in Penrith. That could be fun. Get some frustrations out on throwing the axe. Or it could be anything really. I mean, I love to kayak. I don't do it as often as I'd like to do, but certainly good to do it. Big shout out to one of my best friends, Michelle. Happy birthday to her. I'm looking forward to celebrating with you in the coming week. But so whatever it is, whatever you're grateful for, whatever you want to do in life, I support. And sometimes it's a bit of a journey, isn't it? Just sort of working out what you want, and you only get one chance at this. So I say grab it with both hands and run as fast and as hard as you can towards the direction of happiness, towards the direction of joyfulness, playfulness, adventure, trying different things. Because I know I've worked a lot of my life, and I'm getting to that point where, you know what, I just sort of take the pedal, foot off the pedal a little bit in regards to work, and then having some fun with some other bits and pieces. So whether it's saving a little bird that I have, or making some macaroons, or playing an instrument. I've been playing the piano and the drums really badly. But, and I did promise you I was going to play something. I did work out the riff on In the Air Tonight by Phil Collins, so I have done that, and I will play that for you. But yeah, just go out and have fun and enjoy yourself. And if you are struggling in any way, shape or form, and you don't know who to turn to, I'm always here for you. And even if I don't know the answer, I will sit down with you and go, I don't know the answer, but let's have a cup of coffee and talk about it anyway. And then I can put you in touch with, somebody who will probably know better than I would about that. And but I think the main thing is there's all power in sitting in your own authenticity. So whatever that is for you, and whether it's a morning routine or a night routine, or whether it's just doing something that you love doing that's going to make your heart sing, I say do it. Do it with all your heart and follow where you want to be and what you want to do, because life's too short not to be in those places that you want to be and do so. And embrace the struggle or the stress as a gift, because sometimes situations are gifts that are badly wrapped, and those gifts in life give you an opportunity to have that crossroad to go, okay, well, that happened like Mia did. She had her friend in school and she helped her through different struggles through their lives. And just being seen and heard, you never know, that one person that you chat to might be the one that inspires you to do something else, or inspires them to be the person that they were meant to be. Because I think it's easier to blend in, but sometimes stand out and be the person that you want to be, and stand up for yourself as to what you want to do in life. Because sometimes we don't necessarily follow that path because of whether it's work commitments or whether it's family commitments or whether it's personal commitments. And sometimes if you have just a simple intentional daily discipline, so whether it is that morning routine or the night routine, that just gives you that focus, or the breath work or the meditation. I've found so much benefit in those over the years, and maybe try that, or pop in the comments below something that you found that's been helpful over the years. What's your daily intentional routine that you may take that may help that one person with their life? Because that's what this is about. I don't have all the answers, but I know with each of us together, we form the answers together. And if we don't know the answers together, we'll go and find more people to join the tribe here to get the answers. Yeah, so it's been a fun journey, and I've really enjoyed this year so far, as much as I too have had my own struggles, as we all have with what we do. But sometimes with work, for me, even just electronicizing everything. I love the fact that I've been wanting to do this for years, and I've actually done it. All the files have gone, like everything's gone. I can't believe it. I've got all these filing cabinets. So if anybody wants any filing cabinets, I have filing cabinets for Africa. And hey Jess, how are you? Greetings and salutations, Rach. Absolutely, and back to you and your beautiful family. Yeah, so if anybody wants any filing cabinets, I have filing cabinets. I have 4 drawers. I have 3-door filing cabinets, but everything is electronicized now, and online. So there you go. Well, I hope everybody, each and every one of you, have a wonderful night ahead. Take care of yourselves and each other. Don't face the struggles alone. You aren't alone. You're very much part of my ethos here, and I'm sure that you would be there for me just as much as I would be there for you if you need it. And whether it's saving birds together or whether it's baking these bickies that we've been baking, Anzac biscuits for Anzac Day that we did, we might do a live cooking. Maybe pop in the comments something we want to cook together, and we might get into that as well. Jess wants a filing cabinet. You can have a filing cabinet. You too can have a filing cabinet. Each and every one of you can have a filing cabinet. I've got enough here for everybody in the whole community, I think, because we had that many files. Like, I was burning in the backyard for days, just getting rid of files. And because of course you know, I mean, a lot of the stuff we do, we get it, what do you call it? Sliced up, guillotined, shredded, that's the word. And you get a certificate to say it's all shredded and so forth, which is the way I do it. But all my financials for the last 30 years, why do I keep it? I don't know. You tell me, but I've got rid of it all. I don't need it. And you realise you just hang on to those things for no particular reason. Hey, Reef, how are you? Nice to have you on the line. So, yeah, anybody, and Sue, being an accountant, would tell you, you don't need to keep records after, is it 7 years and 5 years in particular scenarios? So if anybody needs the answer to that question, deleting records or getting rid of records, Sue Payne is the one to speak to in relation to all things accounting. Brilliant accountant in the Windsor and Hawkesbury, and her and a team are wonderful. So I hope that you don't face any struggles this week, that you have a really good week ahead. You've got a good morning routine and night routine. Go and save some birds, go and bake some cookies, go and catch up with some friends or family or whatever it is for you. And if you haven't got anyone to go for coffee with, or if you haven't got anyone to go to the movies with, let me know. I'm always up for a coffee or a movie. And Jess will have to come and pick up that filing cabinet from me. I've got cabinets with keys. I've got cabinets without keys. I've got key cabinets. We upgraded our key cabinet as well. So I had a really old one, but it was functional. So it's still very functional, but we've got a bigger key box now because the business is growing. So, yeah, so if anybody needs key cabinets, filing cabinets, drawers, all sorts of things like that, please let me know, because we have them for you, and they're all free. I'm happy to pay it forward. And Jess is saying she's going to get somebody to get it for you because she's not able to drive. Oh, she's fractured. Oh, a part of her body. No, that's no good. Well, I hope that the opportunity in fracturing your coccyx allows you to sit and relax and read some books and order people around, get cups of coffee and tea made for you, hopefully. And if not, I might get one delivered to you. All right, well, thank you very much for joining me tonight, people. I hope your struggles turn into gratitude. I hope that you get to have that routine and enjoy the week ahead. And let me know in the comments below what you've been up to, what you're going to be doing. And I'd love to help you in any way we can. Just pop in the comments below how we can help you. And I'm more than happy to support in any way that we can. We've got a lot of questions coming from Jess is saying she can now officially use the term "my broke ass." Yes, I think so, with the fractured coccyx. All right, well, take care of yourselves and each other, and if there's anything that we can do to support you here at Rachel Goldsworthy Realty, we are always here for you. Jess is saying, have a good week, sweets. I'll be here on the couch if you want to swing by for a cuppa. Sounds great. Love to catch up with you and your beautiful family, as I would each and every one of you. Anytime you're in town, you know I'm always up for a coffee or a tea. All right, have a great night, everybody. Take care, and we'll catch up with you next week. Bye for now.